Hey guys, Zen here, welcome back to the channel, and this is my day one tier list for Infinity Evolved in Shadowverse Worlds Beyond from a honestly pretty new player to the game. So I'm going to give you guys my day one tier list for all the legendary cards, what I think is pretty strong for S tier, what I think is above average, what I think is, just B. Kind of right there in the middle. C for cool and D for dude what? Like what even is this card? That one I'm not sure what's gonna go in that category, but with that being said, let's hop right into it from again a somewhat beginner perspective, however, longtime card game enthusiast. Our first card we're going to talk about is Urius Portalcraft, and honestly, I think that's just going to have to start at the S tier. Again, these are all legendary cards, so I feel like a lot of them are going to be above B, but I could be wrong. We'll get to them when we get to them. Urius here is so freaking good because it has a fanfare that can summon Victoria, which if you don't know, Victoria is a 3-cost 6/1 that has follower strike, deal X damage to the opposing follower. X is this follower's attack, which means it deals 6 when it attacks. Pretty solid. I think it's pretty awesome. But that's not all. That's not what makes this card S tier in my opinion. It's the secondary ability, or its main ability really. Whenever an allied puppeteer follower enters the field, give it ward. Now, puppets typically disappear at the start of your following turn. So what you can do is essentially play a 0 or 1 cost puppet and have a ward protect your face in the following turn, and honestly protect your other units, including this Urius card. So already off the bat, setting the precedent here, it's an S tier card. Next up is the Twin Calamities for Abysscraft, and I think it is a very strong card, but I'm conflicted. I'm like, is it A or is it S? Honestly, I'm gonna throw it in S as well, just because of the choice factor for this card. You get to select a mode to activate. This card can delete 4 random opposing units on their sides, your enemy followers. Just delete them, so you don't even have to worry about things like aura, I believe. And then it also restores 4 defense to your leader. That's one option you could do. Another option is a bit more protective for 1 round and then super aggressive the second. It's your first option, where you can summon 4 copies of the One-Tailed Fox, which all have rush and all have ward. They're 2 costs that come in at a 2/3. Now, here's the cool thing about them. All 4 copies of your One-Tailed Fox have last words that say, give this random allied Twin Calamities a +1 attack, +0 defense, which means once they wipe out all of your, help me out here, what's it called? One-Tailed Foxes on their turn, the following turn, you have a 9/9 on the board that you can swing. Or if you wanted to swing at something else, you can start getting rid of your One-Tailed Foxes because they all have rush, and then maybe super evolve or even just regular evolve, get a little extra bonus on this Twin Calamities legendary card and swing with that. Personally, I would wait, but just being able to have that flexibility and choice, I think is a S tier ability. But again, I don't know if it is an S tier card. The ability is phenomenal. The effect of this card is phenomenal, but I don't know, the numbers, they're just not crazy for me. But we'll keep it here. We'll keep it at the end of S tier. I might change my mind the more we get into this video and how many cards end up in actual S tier. All right, the next one we're going to talk about is Urius. Honestly, I want to be like, dude, what on this? But it is a phenomenal card. I'm going to put it above average because I only feel like it's strong into specific matchups. Like, for instance, Abysscraft, right? If you're going into Abysscraft and they have a lot of last words, summon this card, you can kind of control what your opponent has on their board, and they can't even do anything on their side. For example, its main effect says whenever an enemy follower enters the field, okay, give it can't attack followers or leaders until the end of your opponent's turn, deal 1 damage to the enemy leader, and restore 1 defense to your leader whenever an enemy follower enters the board. And on top of that, its fanfare says summon 2 copies, 2 enemy copies of Night. So you're already putting on your enemy side 2 slots that they can't do anything with. They can't even attack, which I think is a pretty aggressive, and it's really nice. However, there are going to be cards that get around this, right? If you just pop this first with maybe a Death Reaper / tech or something like that, right? The issue is, the reason it's not an S is because I haven't really seen too much of it. I've seen a few and they absolutely destroyed me. Oh my God, what a matchup that was. I was playing Abysscraft into it. However, I'm just not entirely sure yet, because there are certain ways to get around this effect, I think, but it is a very strong ability. So we're going to put it here. And because of that, like I said, I'm going to move things. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to move the Twin Calamities down to A as well. I think this stays up here because that's a pretty nice, I mean, Portalcraft is already strong. Why the heck are they getting even more boosts? Let's be honest here. So there we go. We got these 3 cards and we still have so many more cards to talk about. Next up is Karula for Portalcraft. However, this is going to be more so for Articraft Portal. I think this is pretty good for Artifact Portal. I'm going to put it at the end of A. Honestly, I'm conflicted here because no, I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good for a couple of reasons. If you super evolve it, you can attack 2 times, okay? And it'll have 8 attacks. So that's pretty strong. Also, the Fanfare lets you summon an artifact from your hand with a cost of 5 or less, and then summon an exact copy of it. And now this isn't a copy that, you know, is fragile or gets destroyed the following turn. No, you get to keep it and you get to use it. So I would probably use it with something like I believe Artifact B that deals damage to your opponent's defense. Is that B or is that A? I'm pretty sure it's B. A heals you, and then Y deals 3 damage across your opponent's enemy. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I think it's pretty solid. I'm going to put it at the end of A. Next up is Norman, and I really love cards that give you choices. And I think this card has better choices than the Twin Calamities, because Norman is crazy. It's also a 6 cost. Like, what? Okay, so I really have to talk about this. This is for Runecraft, more so Earthright Runecraft, which got a massive buff this set. They have a Fanfare Earthright 1 where you get to select one of the following modes to activate. Okay, 1 of 3 choices, you guys. Summon a Guardian Golem and give it Barrier. Okay, that's just a 3/3 with a ward, and now it also has Barrier. Pretty solid, not too crazy. Draw 3 cards. Okay, you're getting cards from your deck. Awesome. Or restore 4 defense to your leader. However, if you evolve Norman, you get to replicate the effects of this card's Fanfare ability. Now, I don't know how this exactly works, but either way, it's insane. I haven't actually played Norman yet myself. I've gone into it, but every time it's been, I think, the same effect. So I don't know if it's a guaranteed same effect of your first choice if you evolve. However, if you get to choose, that's even better. But I'm just gonna say here, that's 2 ward Guardian Golems with Barrier. Okay, that's drawing 6 cards from your deck. What? And that's healing 8 defense from your leader for only 1 evolve point. Like, what? How is this not amazing? And it's for Earthright, an archetype that honestly did not get any real love set 1, but set 2, it's looking pretty good. Pretty good. All right, now we got to talk about Wilbur for Havencraft. This is going to be S tier. I'm sorry. I've been having a great time playing Abysscraft into this with my Medusas and stuff like that. I'm clearing all their rewards. I'm not having a problem. However, it's so strong into like literally everything else if you do not have any answers for Havencraft's ward deck or their setups. This thing has ward, and also if you evolve it, it gains the crest Wilbur Desolate Paladin that says whenever an allied follower with ward enters the field, give it +1 attack, +2 defense. And then last words, when this guy, you know, gets knocked out or destroyed and removed, it'll summon 2 Holy Cavaliers that also have ward and are 1 and 2, which then become 2 and 4 because of the crest. So yeah, Wilbur, insane for Havencraft. I think the cards that I'm going to put in S are just cards that are taking that archetype and making it so strong this set. At least what I think is going to be very strong this set. Again, this is day 1. I could be absolutely wrong. We'll do an update in 2 weeks or so, maybe even a week. We don't even need that long, but we'll see. Next up is Felen. I still don't know how to pronounce this, and honestly, this is for Dragoncraft. I think it's kind of mid. I'm gonna put it in B. I could be wrong. Watch this be an S tier card. I play Dragoncraft all the time. I play Face Dragon. I don't really play Ramp, so maybe you play this in Ramp. But this, let's talk talk about it. It's a 2/2/2. It has Bane. That's cool. If you evolve, it'll deal 1 damage to all enemy followers. And if you're in overflow, you get to add a White Frost Whisper to your hand. Now, what is that card? That's a 3-cost spell card, I believe, that has 2 choices. You get to choose a mode to activate. Destroy all damaged enemy followers, which I guess synergizes with this card on a turn 5 play. If you want to board wipe them, this might be really good into Swordcraft or something to get past any of their warded knights. Or increase the cost of all cards in your opponent's hand by 1 until the end of their turn. Now, I think this would be really good, especially if your opponent has a play point and you're worried about like a turn 8 Orcus or something like that. You could play this. Now they can't play that because that's a 9 cost, but you better honestly just delete the entire, destroy, not delete, the enemy leader's defense at that point, because they're just going to be able to play it the following turn. Or you could just get past entire fields with this card. So I think it could be good. Again, I just don't see it. I feel like I just don't know the situations where you would actually want to use this, because there are other cards that do that are cheaper and don't require too much. I do like the destroy all damaged enemy followers though. That to me is pretty cool. That seems like you can get through an entire board very easy with only play points. All right, and 1 evolve point. So maybe it is above average, but I'm gonna keep it B because B's kind of lonely. All right, next up is Limaga. I'm gonna put it in B because of the name. No, I'm just kidding. Because it's a 7/7/7 with a kind of decent ability. I don't play too much Forestcraft, so I could be wrong. I don't know how much their thing is about controlling. It's more about tempo, if I'm not mistaken, right? And then Fanfare, you get to select 2 enemy followers on the field, and they give them can't attack followers or leaders until the end of your opponent's turn. That's really good control. So there are 2 cards on your opponent's side that you just don't have to worry about. However, if you super evolve, you get to select 2 enemy followers on the field and give them at the end of each turn, deal 1 damage to your leader and 2 damage to this follower. So you can either do it to the same ones that you've already fanfared, or you can do it to 2 other ones to get some more damage. I feel like this could be, again, I can't feel comfortable putting it in A. If you guys play Forest, you let me know. It might be A because you might be able to synergize this on the following turn with something like a Rhino combo. But as of right now, I just don't play Forest to really know. I play Dragon, so I feel like I probably should have put this higher, but I'm going to put this in B. Again, guys, let me know in the comments. Chew me out, but in a respectful manner, please. Thank you. Next up, we have Fenny for Dragoncraft. This one has a fanfare half the cost of all cards in your deck by turn 8, right? But realistically, you can play this as early as turn 5, maybe turn 6 with some overflow shenanigans and ramping with your dragon. A Dragonic spell card. So I'll also put this in B before this one because, again, I play Dragon, just not Ramp Dragon. The thing is, if you drew at the start of your game all the important dragon cards that are very expensive, then this really doesn't do anything for you. But let me paint you a picture. The shark, the shark in the deep that deals 6 to the enemy face upon playing. If you could draw 2 of those and they're both 4 costs and you play that on your 8th turn, that's 12 to their face. Honestly, it might be pretty good, but I'll put it here for now. Next up is Aether for Havencraft. I'm going to put this at the start of A. Again, I don't have too much experience. It's day 1, guys. Chill. With this card, however, its ability is pretty good. Fanfare, summon 3 random differently named followers that cost 3 or less from your deck. This has ward, and if you super evolve it, give all your followers +2 defense and aura. So now, if you're filling out a ward-like deck and you've already procced this Wilbur, I believe his name is Wilbur. Did I already forget? His crest. Well, then these cards are coming into play on 7, the following turn on curve, and they're just getting beefy, right? They're super strong. And then if you super evolve it, they're even tankier, bro. Like they need a full board wipe, which I guess maybe this card might actually be the answer to that, but I'm not moving it. We're keeping it exactly where it is. Next up is a Lilanthum. Lilanthum, what a name, dude. I love this card. I played earlier today. I'm gonna put this at the start of A. It's an Earthright for Runecraft. This thing has aura, but if you play the game, aura like kind of diffuses in and out, right? So I was looking at the card when aura wasn't showing, so I didn't see it have aura. So I tried proccing a card that would destroy it. Guess what? Wasted my evolve, didn't do anything. I learned that day It was today. This is an 8/5/5, but the reason I think this card is phenomenal is if you super evolve it, you get to select 2 of your enemy followers and just destroy them. That's great, right? However, when this gets destroyed, for 2 Earthright, you get to just summon it again and again and again. So if you have 6 Earthrights, your opponent has to knock this out 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 times. My math is horrible, but you get the point. Like a lot of times, recursion just never stops for this. It's almost like the zombies for Abysscraft, but even better because it's a legendary card. I think it's pretty awesome, but the reason it's not an S is because you need to have your Earthright wallet on the board, and you need to have it pretty high. Next up is Gildaria. Honestly, I'm going to put it in C, you guys. I like the effect of whenever another allied follower enters the battle, deal 1 damage to all enemy followers. Now that's pretty good because that's just a lot of really nice damage across the board. Now, whenever this follower evolves, summon 2 copies of Steel-clad Knight and give them Rush. That's even better. The issue is the new keyword Rally for Fanfare, Rally 20, super evolve this follower. I think, I don't know how easy it is to get 20 followers by turn 6. If you want to play this on turn 6 on curve to then just get that amazing ability. I don't think that's the case. I could be wrong. You know what? I might test that today. I might actually end up changing my mind. But as of now, it's a cool idea. I think if you're going to super evolve this, you're not super evolving from your Fanfare unless it's after turn 6. But I could be wrong. Like imagine being able to get 20 units on the board by turn 5 with a play point and then cheesing this out before your opponent even has a super evolve and you have the first. I don't know the math behind that, but if it's possible, it's not likely. That could be really cool, which is why it's in C. Next up is Odin. Now, again, I'm a new player and I think Odin is S tier because of the banish, right? Yes, the storm is cool. It's 7. It's a 4/2. Yes, you can put it in any deck. That's pretty awesome because it's neutral. But I think banish, I don't know. You guys let me know if you're pros and you're watching this complete amateur give you a tier list. That's awesome. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But banish gets passed over the last word's keyword, if I'm not mistaken, because you're not destroying, you're banishing. So then something like Lilanthum doesn't proc. I could be wrong. You guys let me know. It's not technically, that's how my card game enthusiast brain works. I'm like, oh, the words you gotta read, right? So I think it's pretty cool. Plus you have the ability to go to face. For a 4 attack storm, use super evolve. That's 7. That's pretty solid. I think it's really cool. While we're here, I'm gonna just put this guy in S. What's this guy's name? Let me pull him up over here. It's a Grimnir, right? Another neutral card with the ward. All you have to do is play this. You don't have to evolve. You don't have to super evolve. And then you get the crest that never leaves and says, if you end your turn with a super evolved follower, heal 2 every enemy follower, 2 damage to all enemy followers. That's insane. That's essentially giving us artifact Y for every deck, a little bit less. And it has ward. So I'm a huge fan. I've been putting this in every deck. You guys can call me crazy. Let me know in the comments. I think this is an S tier card. Honestly, you know what? I'm super biased. I'm putting it number 1. I think Grimnir is the best one. Best card so far. So far, best card. Next up is a card that I've been playing a little bit. How do you pronounce the name? Cheron? I believe it's Cheron. And it's cool. It says whenever an allied departed follower enters the field, give it ward. So now you get to potentially protect yourself. I would say above average, but I'm still not fully understanding this like, I think I just don't understand reanimate. Reanimate 2 means you get to reanimate a 2 cost. Reanimate 1 means you get to reanimate a 1 cost. It's random, and it's just something that already, I guess, got destroyed. Not departed, destroyed. And I'm just trying to figure out, I don't think you ever play this before you play Cerberus, right? Cerberus? You play Cerberus on 5, and then the following turn, you could get those Mimis and Cocos back, deal damage to your opponent's life, and then heal your life some more. I played that incorrectly, or else I would have put that up here. So I'm just gonna leave it on B. You guys, again, let me know, educate me. I could be entirely wrong. Which brings us to the final card, and I think it's a Forestcraft card. It's a Tatiana. Bust it down, Tatiana. Anyway, Tatiana right here says, summon a fairy, gain crest, Tatiana, Queen of Fairies. And this crest says at the start of your turn, add a fairy to your hand. Oh, that's so good for Roach, isn't it? I'm going to put it in Dude What for now. I'm going to change it potentially. Give me a second. Evolve, select an enemy follower on the field and transform it into a fairy. Yeah, I'm going to put it on Dude What. I don't play Forest. I could be really good for Forest, but just because Dude What's kind of lonely. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. But there you guys have it. This is my day 1 tier list for Shadowverse Infinity Evolved Set 2. Listen, take this grain of salt. Watch this actually be the meta. Like, I'm on point. If I am, you guys got to subscribe. But also, if I'm not and you were thoroughly entertained and you're still watching, subscribe. What are you doing, guys? Thanks for watching. Enjoy my videos. I'll catch you in the next one later.